Hello, my beautiful entrepreneur parent family. How are you? It is Ildiko Ferenczi, and I am so grateful to be with you again. This episode is a little bit different. It's personal, and it comes from a place of both faith and love of our children. No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids,
and everything in between. Today we're talking about how our family no longer celebrates Halloween. I don't know if you knew that, or perhaps you've heard other episodes, because we do like to talk about it annually and about what we do instead to bring light, peace, and joy into that night. So I'm just going to share it the way I still remember it vividly. It was Destiny's very first year of Halloween, and I remember her being so excited to wear her little outfit, or at least I thought so, because we were matching, and we were these cute little deers. But when we stepped outside, all the scary masks, and I think that my husband and I are a little numb to it, but as children, just imagine it, how scary these masks are, and the dark decorations, spiders, and the eerie sounds, and her face just shifted, totally changed. The smile was gone, just terrified. She was terrified, and so was Daniel. And he was holding her little hand, and I could see their white little knuckles. And in that moment, I looked at my husband, and we both thought the same thing. Why are we doing this to our beautiful children if they don't even want to? Why? And it hit me. We were following a tradition that didn't align with our spirit just because that's what everybody else did. But our children were terrified. And the truth is I never really liked Halloween myself, even as a child. And the more we talked about this with my husband, he didn't really either. And my mother, she hated it. She never celebrated it growing up. She's from Europe. What they do is they pray for their loved ones on that night. And there was many years that I didn't celebrate it at all. After my brother passed away, what are we going to do? Two women walk around outside in the scary night? That just didn't happen. And to be honest, those were some of my favorite memories because they were peaceful, and we prayed for our loved ones, and my mom would cook amazing food, and we would just spend time together. And as parents, we started asking ourselves, and this is a question I invite you to ask your family too. Are we doing this for them, or are we doing this because everyone else does this? And here's another one that changed the way we looked at everything. And, this one, yeah. Are we persuading our children to do something that that genuinely scares them, that they don't want to do, just because there's candy waiting at the end? Think about that for a minute. Because when we do that, we're not just talking about candy. We're talking about conditioning. And think about it really. We're teaching them that it's okay to silence that small, wise voice inside that says, this doesn't feel right, just to earn a reward. Yeah, I don't know. It just all started feeling so different once we started peeling back this onion. And it took our little ones to, I think, wake us up. As parents and leaders of our homes, we never want to train our children to ignore discernment for approval or for tradition that we grew up in, or some kind of treat that truly isn't even good for our bodies. Let's be honest. Therapists have talked about this, how forcing children into scary or overstimulating environments can heighten anxiety, well, obviously, and create confusion around boundaries. Think about that one. And then to make them believe fear is maybe just an entertainment, or it's okay to have that kind of fear. And child psychologists explain that younger children can't always separate fantasy from reality. And that's exactly what we saw looking at their little faces. And that scary imagery can cause lingering nightmares. I remember I used to have nightmares. And little Daniel, he dealt with that before Destiny. Or anxiety patterns that parents often overlook, and it stems from this night. Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need, that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness, and honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Shilajit today. Daniel was terrified growing up. Even now, it's not. Like, some of the decorations are just so dark in the stores. And I remember them both being terrified going into Home Depot. Daniel is a little one. He hated going into the stores, the scary stores building up to Halloween. He hated it. She hated it. And from a spiritual perspective, we know that God is not the author of fear. So what are we doing? So why would we introduce fear into a night that's meant to be fun, right? And then there's the candy, and let's be honest, most of it is filled with dyes and chemicals. I truly wouldn't feed it to my worst enemy, and I don't even have enemies, but I mean, I wouldn't even... If I had any enemies, I wouldn't even feed it to them, that's for sure. Let alone to our precious babies. So we started asking, is the reward worth the risk? Is the reward worth the risk? Candy from strangers on a night where fear and darkness are the theme? Candy from strangers? I mean, it could be a coin toss. You're just feeding your children food. I'm thinking this about myself. I'm feeding them. Ildiko, you're feeding them stuff from strangers? Is that really a good idea? No, it's not. That's not what we want for our family. I mean, the more I think about it, it just, what was I thinking? Just even as a kid. And the more we prayed about it, the clearer it became. Halloween simply doesn't align with what we believe in. And we're called to be a light in the darkness, not to blend into it. And our little man, Daniel, even said one day, Mama, that's not God. He said so many intelligent things that I didn't really catch. And I don't know why I had to take us to look at Destiny and Daniel. Maybe it was just the imagery of them holding each other's hands so tight. Usually it's so tender and soft and peaceful, but he's holding her little, I just want to cry, holding her little baby hand, and they got these white little knuckles and they're terrified. It's like, why are we doing this? Why? And honestly, it was simple. Children, when Daniel said that, when he said, Mama, that's not God, okay? Because he understands a lot. And honestly, it's that simple. It was that simple. Children have a natural discernment. We, as adults, sometimes lose because we were pushed into a tradition and we were pushed into doing something that wasn't necessarily okay with our spirit, but we silenced it and it just became tradition, something that we did. And when we actually listen to their innocence and we realize how obvious the truth is, that the answer is there. They don't want to do it. So why do it? And it was around that time my husband started doing some deeper research, and so did I. And he had discovered, oh my goodness, what he discovered really opened our eyes even more. He came across interviews and testimonies from people who had practiced in witchcraft and other practices, who some of them had left that world behind and were warning parents that this is the darkest spiritual time of the year. And they said that it broke their hearts to see Christian families unknowingly participating in it. Even that movie Hocus Pocus, there was a witch that came forward. She's like, you think that's just made up? This is real stuff. They're cursing streets. They're cursing, I was brought up in Canada, but like Knott's Berry Farm and Universal and all this stuff that it was just really eye-opening to hear this stuff. And as I said, it broke their hearts to see Christian families unknowingly participating in this stuff, allowing their children to dress up and celebrate and take part in traditions that were never meant for God's people. And he was shocked, and we both were. And it made us stop and ask if even those who once participated in these things are saying that it is dangerous, why are so many Christian families still offering their children to it? And that just really shut the door on that part of our life. And now we're not here to tell anyone what to believe or do. Every parent needs to pray and do their own research. But I do want to bring something to the table for those who simply don't know. Because perhaps a lot of you, once you start doing the research or you listen to your children the way that we did, you perhaps may look at it in a different way. Because once you see this, you can unsee it. You can't. And once we saw it, we knew our family would no longer take part in something like that. We didn't want to celebrate darkness or fear or confusion or cause confusion in our children when they had such a strong, when they just knew that this wasn't something that they wanted to participate in. Why push them through that? And we knew as a family that we were going to create something better, something light-filled, and something that honors God, especially after Daniel said that. And he said that to me more than once, and I was angry with myself. I mean, of course, when Destiny came, he was only a couple years old, but why didn't I just listen to him? I think it was just that whole imagery of the white knuckles and holding each other so tight and their sweet little eyes so wide and terrified. When we first stopped celebrating, we felt a little out of place, I guess, because a lot of families still celebrated this dark holiday and we just really wanted nothing to do with it. But over the years, we've watched more and more families that we love, people in our community, and many people that we don't know make the same choice. And that gave us this confirmation that we're on the right. On the right. If we feel great about this and we can have conversations with other families that have decided to, what were we thinking? What were we really thinking? Now, instead of going out, we celebrate light in the darkness day and celebrating Jesus. Call it what you want with your family and start that new tradition. We stay home together. We bake. We make delicious treats. We know exactly where everything comes from. We watch faith-filled movies, fun movies, cheery movies, happy movies, and it's warm. Everything smells amazing. And we remind our children that we don't need fear to have fun. We don't need fear to have fun because they know it. They're the ones that taught us to wake up. Many families, like ourselves, make s'mores with meaning. This is something that was new to us, but I love it. Each layer representing something good, the graham cracker for a firm foundation of faith, the marshmallow for softness and kindness and love. And if you know how to make marshmallows yourself, you can make them yourself, or you could buy a healthy alternative. And then choose your favorite organic chocolate for the sweetness of God's promises. Wow. Like how much fun. How much fun, guys. And before we end the night, we gather as a family and we say a prayer. You could say a simple one. You could simply say, Lord, make us a light in the darkness. Protect every home, every heart, and every child tonight. Let your peace and love cover our house. Because when families pray together, fear loses its power. And then we don't hand out we don't hand out candy. We put a nice sign on the door and we name our celebration. And then we have just little goodie bags that people could take. I know another family, they put those little bracelets in there, just things that make you think about Jesus and faith. I mean, most of our neighbors, they really do love God, but they didn't really think about this. So it's a nice conversation to have. So you give them little goodie bags with healthy treats in there for the children, and perhaps their parents, and them have a conversation. And they join this it's like this movement, I guess, that's going on right now. It's becoming so common. When we first started, it wasn't so common, but every year I feel it just gets more and more popular. And now this isn't an episode to judge anyone, and it never has been, ever. It's simply an invitation to think deeply. Ask yourself, and most importantly, ask your children, does this align with who we are and what we believe? Are we doing this for joy or just because it's what the world does and we're doing what everybody else is doing? When we started making those choices intentionally, peace came into our home. And honestly, that peace is worth more than any candy, costume, or tradition. It's okay to change the tradition. You don't have to keep doing it. It's your family. It's your family. You create your own traditions. You do what makes you guys feel happy. You do what makes your children thrive. Right? That's our job as parents, to bring everyone closer to the Lord. And that I feel like that brings us to the closing today. It's just an invitation to think about it, perhaps make some changes. And if this episode spoke to you and you would love to share it with another parent who's been questioning this too, they might feel alone, and maybe your share will remind them that they're not. And if you want to help us keep producing powerful, faith-filled shows like this, you can support the children's podcast, the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show, it's called Buying a Coffee. Daniel wanted me to share this with you guys. They've been working so hard, dropping 2 episodes a week. And he wanted me to share it on our podcast too. So it helps to produce their podcast, and it kind of goes hand in hand because we're the entrepreneur parents and they're the entrepreneur kids, and they're bringing light to so many little hearts and so many little leaders. So if you want to support them, it's called Buy Me a Coffee. I'll have the link underneath. Buy Me a Coffee Entrepreneur Kids. And that's the link. You could tap on it. And you'll find that link, you'll find the link in the show notes. And again, I wanted to thank you so much for being brave enough to even ask yourself these questions, to ask your family these questions, and for choosing to raise your family with purpose. Until next time, I'm Ildiko Ferenczi, reminding you that legacy starts in your living room. And again, if this episode gave you something to think about, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love. And when they hear it, they will know just how much you care. And before you go, please take a moment to follow us on Instagram, Entrepreneur Parents Podcast, and leave a kind review, 5 stars. And this is going to help us reach more families just like yours. And that will connect us and help build our incredible community of faith and purpose and legacy families that are building legacy together as families. God bless you, my friend, and let's keep making heaven crowded, one family at a time. God bless you, and have a very safe and beautiful weekend.
Thank you, beautiful friends, for listening to this important message from Mama. Share with someone you love and care about. Oh, and we'd love to personally invite you to listen to our podcast. It's for young future leaders ready to change the world and be a light in the dark. Listen together as a family. It's called the Entrepreneur Kids Legacy Show. We know you'll love it. Be bold, be kind, build an unforgettable family legacy. God bless you. We love you. And parents, if no one told you yet, let us be the first. You're doing a remarkable job. And remember, you are the hero of your story, because every legacy begins with a hero, and that hero is you.